It's my first time in Africa, in South Africa, and in Cape Town. And actually, it reminds me of home.
This is my first time in South Africa, and it's my first time in the African continent as such.
I was very excited about having the opportunity to visit South Africa, to be in Cape Town.
South Africa is a beautiful country with beautiful landscapes.
I'm very happy that I was chosen for this residency here, and that I was that I'm to discover all these places.
It's not my first time in South Africa. It's my second time actually to be in Cape Town.
Well, I came to visit during the COVID pandemic, but it was only for a very short time, so I didn't get to explore much.
We have 10 fellows from different countries, European countries and African countries, visiting our country for a period of 2 weeks. And we are really privileged to have them here. They are experts from various fields in museum practice, from curators to researchers to educators. So we are really privileged. We have the fellows from Germany, we have fellows from Uganda, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Seychelles, Latvia, and the Netherlands, among other countries.
My name is Agustina Andrioletti. I work at the Rautenschlachthiers Museum. That's the ethnographic museum in Cologne. But I was born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And in the museum, I work in digitalization, techno-accessibility, and digital mediation of the collection.
My name is Christine. I'm from Latvia, and I work at the Latvian National Museum of Arts at the Foreign Art Department, which is called Art Museum Riga Burs. We have several buildings. And I work as an exhibition curator at the museum.
My name is Julia Albrecht. I'm coming here from Frankfurt, Germany, where I live and work. I work for an ethnological museum in Frankfurt, the World Cultures Museum.
My name is Kiza Wilson. I'm a Ugandan. I run an organization called Bugungu Heritage and Information Center, found in Western Uganda. And what we do is we undertake research about the culture and the history of the Bagungu people. And also we have a community museum that documents, that portrays the culture of the Bagungu, and we do heritage education in schools and in community.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm a conservator for cultural heritage, working at the ethnographic collections of Saxony in Germany.
I'm Takutu Paspanojga. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm an archaeologist. I work with the National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe. I studied archaeology at a local university, Midland State University. Then I also went on to do my master's with the University of Zimbabwe. I'm based at the Zimbabwe Military Museum, which is in central Zimbabwe in the Midlands province, and I'm in charge of the archaeology department.
Okay, my name is Millicent Atieno Ochieng. I come from Kenya. I work for the National Museums of Kenya as a curator in its flagship museum, the Nairobi National Museum. And at the museum, I'm responsible for the administrative work, also exhibition development, public programs, and fundraising.
MuseumsLab is is a program by the German Academic Exchange Service. It targets museums professionals across Africa and Europe.
It's a very exciting program for me because it brought 52 museum professionals from across the globe, and we all met in Berlin and discussed our activities and our practice in different cultural museum institutions in the different countries.
The really special thing about this is that I met people from South Africa, from Lesotho, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe. And so that I found really great to be able to talk to colleagues, to discuss with them how they approach their work, what are the differences, similarities, shake up how your own perspective on museum work.
So being part of MuseumsLab, of the MuseumsLab 2023, means a lot to me. Getting to know all these colleagues from all over Europe and African countries, and having the possibility to learn together and also to change perspectives and to realize how people do things differently or think differently, but then also see what we have in common or what kind of similar challenges we are facing.
When I got into the MuseumsLab, I really didn't know what to expect, because it was an array of things that I had seen when we were applying for this residency and for the training. So I thought we were just going to go into a class and we'll be told this and that, but it turns out it was very different. So, and different in a nice way, because I've loved what we've been through. We went for an online training before flying to Berlin, and we got perspectives from different scholars in museology. So it was very, very enlightening for me. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know in the past.
And for me, it's also very important to have these exchanges, and also to know how we work on exhibitions, how we develop them, how we develop the storyline, how we involve the community to create the exhibitions. And yeah, it's mostly for me about exchanges and networking as well, because I would really much like to, at some point in the future, to organize something connected with South African or African art in Latvia as well.
I was looking forward to meet people that can connect to them now, but build networks like for the future. So I'm looking forward to these like sharing experiences in the different environments, but at the same time doing things together and knowing each other through doing. And yeah, the sustainability of those relationships.
I'm glad that I was among the successful 52 people. It means a lot to me. I've gotten an opportunity to meet people at a higher level of professionalism in the field, those who have practiced for a long time than I do, those who have interacted with higher technology in the museum world than I do, those who have gotten involved in archaeology. So it is really a nice program, including traveling to Germany and South Africa, the land of Mandela.
My name is Sipo Danda. I'm a curator here at Freedom Park. Freedom Park came as a result of civil society. In 1996, civil society and certain groups wrote to President Mandela, asking him what should be done for the people who lost their lives fighting for freedom and humanity. Because of the faith-based organization, there was a recommendation that we need to cleanse South Africa because of its past. And then so cleansing and healing. So in other words, we had to build a space where all the people who died outside of the country and in the country can be brought back in a symbolic way to rest in a. Hence we have Isivivan.
My name is Kim Ngobeni. I am from the South African Heritage Resources Agency, also known as SAHRA, and I am a heritage practitioner. I like to believe that I'm a heritage enthusiast, and I've been in this profession for 7 years now. I'm under the Heritage Protection Unit, and we are responsible for the conservation and protection of all heritage resources within the country. My role in this program is to be a facilitator. I am hosting the 2 fellows that have joined us in the Freedom Park MuseumsLab program, which is Millicent Ocheng and also Christina Miller from Latvia. So my role is to coordinate the program and to ensure that they get as much information and that they learn as much as possible. The colleagues are here for 2 weeks, and we started our program on Monday the 19th, where they had the museum tour, and today, which is the 20th, we had the Freedom Park Memorial Tour, where we went to Isivivani, we saw the Wall of Names, we saw the Memorial Park. And for the 2 weeks, the colleagues, they have various presentations from the Heritage Department, public participation, there's storytelling, there's events to attend. So we have a flexible program, but yet we want them to get as much information as they can from Freedom Park, since it's their hosting institution.
We started this morning with a hike, so I'm feeling very energized actually.
Freedom Park. When I first read about Freedom Park, I thought it was just a park, you know, like a park you can walk into, and maybe you have these memorial tombs for the soldiers or the people who fought for independence. That is the idea that I had. But when I came here, I was starstruck. Yeah, it was amazing. It's not what I expected, like what I thought it was, but it's more than what I thought it would be. So far, I have loved what we have been shown. It's only the 2nd day, but it's a lot, and personally I've learned so much in the different kinds of presentation, the storylines. It's just amazing. There are things that I've learned so much in these few days.
On the first day, we saw an exhibition at the Freedom Park, and I learned a lot of new things, because in Latvia, we actually don't learn about African history. So I learned a lot of new things, and also concerning nature and climate here. It's completely different from where I come.
We gave them enough time to revisit, write down their questions. We can answer whatever questions they have. Today we will spend the entire morning going through the park.
I felt really welcomed and in a way taken care of, and that was very, very nice, because people were very warm and welcoming. And we visited the exhibition at the Nelson Mandela Gateway, where we are now. And this was a very interesting experience for me, because there were pictures of resistance leaders who I had already worked with. And so it was a really important moment of, here is that person's face again, and maybe I can learn more, because here, and then going to the archives and finding out how much information, what a great resource that is. I had that feeling like, okay, there is a resource here which I can tap into. And so that was a very important part.
On Tuesday this week, I was in the natural history department, going through the collections and with the different colleagues. And they come from such different backgrounds, not always from natural history or natural sciences. And we were talking about like the political implications of digitalization and digital tools, that they're not blank. Technology is not like a blank slate that you use, but they have politics and backgrounds on agendas and even what's in a form to feel it's a script that's written by someone. And it's important to question who is that someone and if it makes sense for the institution and the future of the institution.
I went through the slavery museum, the slavery lodge, and got also to understand, I think the slavery lodge is more connected to the capital of good hope, in that it gives a narration of how the Dutch came through to Cape, how the Portuguese also came through, and later the British, and how the indigenous communities also tried to fight, colonialism, and also try to protect their spaces and their land.
I have to admit, I've never heard of Mapungubwe before I read where I'd be placed for my residency. And then I was shocked that it's a World Heritage Site and I haven't heard of it before.
My name is Mpadeni Ntangeni, and I'm the park manager of Mapungubwe National Park and World Heritage Site. According to the findings and research, the Mapungubwe Hill was the biggest trade in the southern continent, and where they were trading up to Cairo in Egypt, up to area of Saudi Arabia, and doing the trade. And the most interesting part was the melting of gold within the area. So that's why those golden rhinos were also found as part of the samples that things were done in those days as the biggest trade of the southern continent.
It is a place, I should say, a place of origin for South Africa. Like, by South Africa, I mean maybe the members of SADC. You find that Zimbabwe and South Africa all claim their origin, for example, at Mapungubwe Hill. Then the rock paintings in the park. It is really a nice place. It is a culturally rich place.
The fellows arrived on the 22nd, and from the 22nd we had introductions into the park. So they had the opportunity to meet the park manager, and from there we started a heritage tour to Mapungubwe Hill, where the fellows there had a guided tour. Then from the guided tour, they also had a guided tour to the interpretation center, and from the interpretation center we then started going to the sites. So they went to the different sites that we have here at Mapungubwe.
Coming up here to the far northeast and staying at Mopani Bush Lodge, that's a complete different experience. It's really amazing because you can sit around the fire in the evening with the stars above you, and there is not really much light pollution, so you can really see the stars. And yeah, that's very amazing.
Fellows participated in the inspection that we had with the University of Pretoria. Then from there we had our program where we started working on collections management. We also had digitization of tangible heritage, and from there we then, because we wanted the fellows to actually assist us with what we're doing here and also be part of the work that we are doing. So we also had them participate in documenting of the tangible heritage that we have, and they were also part of that as well.
I've really learned some things like documentation, the best practices when it comes to documenting artifacts, then how to handle artifacts.
It was really special for me that everybody trusted me and that I was asked and allowed to handle artifacts. Because usually, for example, at our museum, only the museum staff is allowed to do that. And I really feel honored that they trusted me so much that I could really work hands-on with the collections.
As a national park, maybe I can just indicate that it is having three heads. It's wearing three heads. It's a national park, it's a World Heritage Site, and it's also a Transfrontier Conservation Area where you can also book with a game drive. We have a morning drive, the sunset drive, and in those you can experience lions, elephants, leopard on those tours. So that can be booked with our receptions. You can also book the day walk where you experience wildlife on foot, where you go out with the guides on foot and see the areas. We have 4 different camps, so if you want to overnight and you want to sleep over, you can book with us. We have a popular one, which is Leokwe camp, and at Leokwe you will also experience there's a swimming pool. You will see this area is very hot, so in summer it gets more hotter, so it's a swimming pool there. We have Limpopo tented forest, and we also have the Bembe tented camp where people can also book with us. The last one is the tented camp. We have Majo. If you don't like to, you like camping a lot, you can bring in your caravan, your tents, and then you can camp in there.
It was a bit unusual for me to drive everywhere by car, to go everywhere by car. Different from how I would usually go around or move around in Germany. So I had to get used to that. But all the people I've met, so friendly and welcoming. And of course we had the best host and guide you can wish for. Philip Hein from SAHRA, really amazing. He spent 24/7 with us. And he was really doing it great.
My name is Philip Hein. I'm the manager of the Archaeology, Paleontology, Meteorites unit at SAHRA. I'm the head of the Archaeology unit. And I've been working for SAHRA for about 16 years. So the role of SAHRA in MuseumsLab 23 is to provide a facilitation process. It's to facilitate the program between the host institutions and the fellows. Our role is to assist with the designing of the program, designing of the activities, and also to facilitate communication between the fellows and the host institutions.
No, it's important to note that they are not students. They are professionals in their own right. They are curators in their museums. So their main responsibility is to see how different sites are being conserved, so that whatever they can take from here, they can go and implement in their respective institutions, and whatever their institutions are doing, they can come and give advice that this is where you can improve, this is best. I learned that this is how we can do it.
I think overall the reactions were quite positive. I think the fellows learned quite a significant, they had quite a significant experience in this park. In particular, Mapungubwe, it's a very remote area. It's not easily accessible. There are challenges in terms of biodiversity versus heritage conservation, challenges related to destitution. So I think the fellows had quite an important understanding of the complexities faced at Mapungubwe and managing such a site, and the role of biodiversity and the conflicts between conservation versus heritage management.
SAHRA's participation in the MuseumsLab project is a testament to our commitment to preserving and promoting South Africa's rich cultural heritage.
We're trying to deepen our relations with sister organizations, sister museums in the continent. So looking forward to it, and I trust that everyone will see the value that the MuseumsLab brings. It certainly has brought a lot of value for me as an architect, as a heritage practitioner. And with SAHRA, we hope that we can meet your expectations. Thank you.
I would like to express my gratitude for your participation in this project and your commitment to preserving and promoting cultural heritage. We encourage you to explore the diverse and rich cultural heritage that South Africa has to offer. From the ancient sand rock art to the contemporary art scene, there is a wealth of heritage resources waiting to be discovered. Together, we can make a significant impact and leave a lasting legacy for future generations. Thank you.